Does anyone want an intro? Adam, was you...
Go on, Jay.
I did last week, so I won't.
Adam, go on.
Oh, fuck yeah. Season finale. Here we go. Well, good evening.
Was that the intro?
Yeah, I've tried to sip my drink. I'll start
Okay.
again. I'm trying to be sophisticated.
Oh, yeah, of course. With the wine.
Well, okay, right, let's go. Well, good evening to all our fans out there, and welcome to the Back Post Season 2 finale.
Whee!
It's not what we wanted, is it? But it's something.
It's what it is. We're all, if you know, we're suited and booted. We're all looking very dapper. Josh is wearing tweed.
I'm not wearing tweed.
That's so
That's a
mad, isn't
lie.
it?
That's a filthy lie. That's a filthy lie.
This is what Josh would normally
I said
wear.
I might wear tweed.
This is what Josh would normally wear.
Right now, I want to get something out of the way. Right here we are, like our jackets. Right, anyone that knows me that's currently watching this is going to think this is my idea. And I want to firmly put it out there that it wasn't. Right?
Usually,
because that's all that's going to happen. That's all that's going to happen. Is people are going to look at that and go, "God, Josh is doing his thing." This was Adam's idea. Jay got excited, and I got overruled. So I want that on record.
Josh usually wears this on a week-to-week basis.
It was a joke initially, but
It is never a joke, boys. It's never a joke. I'm sweating already.
This pod was a joke originally. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh.
yeah, so like, it's very hot.
Right, should we talk some actual football, boys?
We're going to talk about the season, and where best to start off talking about the season than the last game. Jay, how'd that go for you?
Are we talking last game of the season? Or
No, the last game of football that happened in England.
or a different game?
You losing the FA Cup, Jay. That's what I'm getting.
Oh,
Yeah, Chelsea being beaten by Arsenal in the FA Cup was just because we haven't. I know you did your fan cam, but we haven't really talked about it, have we?
wasn't going to bring it up, but...
You weren't going to bring it up. How did you think that one was going to go for you?
Swimmingly. So, great. Cheers, Josh. So, that game happened. Everyone knows already. A lot of people have seen the fan cam and seen me quite upset and angry at the same time. I filmed that right after the game. I think the fan cam... You okay, Adam?
Sorry.
Don't die on us, bro. Cool things I didn't mention in the fan cam. So that I said that, you know, Arsenal don't deserve anything and that they are scum. And don't get me wrong, I mostly agree with that. But they definitely deserved to win the game. They were better than us for the majority of the game.
You've calmed down from.
This is what happens when you're a football fan. You're pissed off at the end of the game. You give it a day. You're fine. Of course, they deserved to win it, and we weren't. We didn't help ourselves in any way, shape or form with the performance, but don't get me wrong, neither did the referee. His performance was bad.
I mean, that's my worry with Chelsea, is because you're starting to look a little bit weak in terms of the fact that Aspilicueta is clearly clearly your greatest defender.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have looked that bad once he went off. The Pulisic thing is a different kind of element because... But once Aspie went...
I disagree, Josh. I disagree.
A club like... How?
No.
Christiansen was an absolute train wreck as soon as he came on.
So basically, Aspie was struggling with the ball from Luiz over to Aubameyang. He was really struggling with it. That's what happened when he was tracking back. So when we switched up, yes, Christensen come on and didn't play well, but because Christensen... I think what happened was Zuma then went out to the right where Aspie was, and then the ball over the top stopped coming in as much because Zuma was getting rid of it. So I disagree. I think Aspie coming off was not good, but Zuma then controlled that side of the field more than Aspie was doing.
I think as a whole your defence fell to absolute paper.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
You looked promising and then you didn't, and it maybe you're right, maybe it didn't coincide with him coming off, but it...
I think that was just a mentality thing, you know, because we got the one, we came out the blocks, and then after that I think, you know, once we started letting them into the game more and more, the mentality kind of crept back in that it's crept in all season. So, yeah.
Well, we've been saying this all season, that your defence is not up to it. You know, we've spoke in the previous weeks about you needing a big centre half,
Yeah, the fact that Harry Maguire and Lindelof makes your defence look shit is quite worrying.
Yeah, yeah, it is worrying, but you know what? Listen, things might happen in the transfer window. We'll get onto that later, but you know, I think things could happen and hopefully shore it up a little bit. But with the game itself, like I said, we didn't deserve to win. Although a lot went against us, and you can't say it didn't. Like the fact that two of our players had hamstring injuries, Pulisic being like the best player, Asby being one of the best defenders, the fact that the ref was very trigger happy with his cards, you know.
I forgot. I actually completely forgot about the. Was it Pulisic as well that got booked for not touching anyone?
Yeah, and in the build up to the second goal, I'm not 100% sure on this, but it looks like someone gets fouled, and it was just a bit ridiculous.
No. I don't have that one. I think that's just one of those things that happen in a game.
Yeah, that's why I'm...
Pulisic and Kovacic were yellow carded for. My mate Ross had an interesting theory where he reckons that he forgot that he'd booked Kovacic because it's quite an easy yellow to give out.
But also, he gave a yellow to Ceballos, I think.
No, I think it looked like he was going to give one.
But Arteta got a yellow as well.
Yeah, that's because he was moaning, wasn't
it? It's just, and then it was like about a minute before he actually carded Cover. Like, it was fucking bizarre, man. It was absolutely horrible. Before the pod, I was saying, you know, it was just losing the final. And you know what? I've not heard every hour. I've heard something about it since. So
really, Jay, have you not been sleeping?
No, Josh, I haven't. I've just been on Twitter the whole time, just crying.
Fair.
I went to cry to my mum.
I mean, I just think that at the end of the day, and we'll talk about this in a bit, but you've let yourself get beaten by a team in 8th. And the only thing I would say that's good is that now, I said this to Jay at the time, I went, look on the bright side, as much as I didn't want Arsenal to get into Europe, and thank God they didn't take Tottenham's spot, like, thank God we picked Wolves.
Yeah.
But at least now Arsenal have Europe to worry about, so they don't have, a clear run. If this turns out to be a very good Arsenal side, at least they'd have a clear run at the Premier League with no other.
Yeah. It is a way of looking at it.
Yeah, I don't think that could ever be the case though anytime soon for them.
Well, let's see, because they do look good. They've done some good things. I still think
to win the FA Cup, they beat City and us.
And if he does manage to clear out some of that dead weight at the back, it's not fun.
Dead weight at the back though, but Luiz had a brilliant game. He was one of those annoying times where he had a brilliant game.
Well, there's a lot of question marks, isn't there? Because will they keep Ceballos? Is Gundezi going? Are they going to sort out the defence? Tierney looks fucking incredible. Like,
he does, yeah.
Will Aubameyang stay? That's a massive question.
Oh yeah, he's their main man. So if he doesn't,
if Barcelona are sniffing around him,
which is mad, isn't it?
I mean, I obviously would go. I don't like Arsenal, but you would have to. He's 30. What? He's 30. What? 31, 32?
Yeah.
Barcelona comes a call in.
You go.
Well, Barcelona could come a calling because I've heard that Suarez could be going to, or is going to, Miami.
Oh.
Yeah, Suarez. Well, no. I think the Miami thing that's been accidentally leaked is I think they went for. This might all be nonsense, but I'm pretty sure they went for Falcao instead.
Right. Apparently, they were sniffing around Willian as well.
Anyway, Chelsea lost the final. No one enjoyed that, but. At least I got to see Jay be a bit unhappy. So, swings and roundabouts.
It's always a bright side. Right.
So, we got an entire season to get through now, so let's start with that.
Crack on.
Yeah.
So, boys, player of the season was given out. We all know it went to Henderson. What do we think about it?
It's one of them, right? I can't believe I'm going to say this. But... obviously, he's been...
Scholes-esque.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Yes.
He's been Liverpool's main man. He's dragged them through it. He's been the leader from the start. I admire him for that. I just really disagree with it. He
right.
shouldn't.
You've got to give us a reason now that you've said that, though. We have to have a bit of...
Because, for me, it's Kevin De Bruyne because... he's had an absolute world-beating season, and so he got 13 goals. He joined Henry. He was Henry, weren't it? 20 goals, 20 assists. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I wanted him to get it at the record. It's a shame he didn't, but he's been unbelievable this season for Sarah. And you've got to remember as well, halfway through the season, he was out for a few weeks.
He was actually. I forgot about that.
And
well, so was Henderson.
Yeah, but
can I say my?
I'm not. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Can I say my bit?
Yeah.
So he got through because he captained a really good Liverpool side, and he was a strong leader and stuff. But
I'm not denying that at all.
But last time we won the Prem in 2017, our captain was Gary Cahill, who was the strong leader, captain kind of guy. Player of the season went to Kante because he was the player of the season. Do you know what I mean? And with this season, I think, Kevin De Bruyne is a massive shout, but also Mane from Liverpool, like he had an incredible season at the best team in the season. So it's just a bit beyond me, really.
But you could have given it to 3 more Liverpool players. Sorry, Josh. You could have given it to 3 more. You could have given it to 3 more Liverpool players. We're making the same point. Come on.
I was going to make the same point. All I was going to say was I think Henderson's probably 4th. I would say it's De Bruyne, because that City team, at the same time, it's not about the team performing, is it? That's why it's an individual award. It doesn't matter that City were 18 points behind Liverpool because, De Bruyne just looked incredible, dictated tempo, bagged assist after assist, and let's not forget an odd bloody goal or 2.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't score. He was incredible. And if there was a draft system in the Premier League, I don't think anyone would. I think he'd be the first name on every single team sheet. But then I would say it was Mane, so that's what I would say. And then I would say it was Van Dijk, because we know what that team is without Van Dijk. And I think the point is that if you take, let's say you have to take one player out of that Liverpool team, you're not taking out Salah. I don't think it was Salah, but you're not taking out Salah or Mane. You're definitely not taking out Van Dijk. You can't take out Alisson. Can you take out Henderson? And oh no, we've only got a midfield of Keita, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. I completely agree. I think the world agrees. A lot of uproar about this, wasn't there?
I mean, I'm happy for him, but it does feel like an emotional decision. He seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, definitely.
But it seemed like an emotional decision, and he got to cry with his dad, and he leaves Liverpool, captained him to a championship, a Premiership, a Club World Cup, a Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Good on him, but
right. So let's move on to Manager of the Season, which is a bit more obvious.
Can I go first on this one?
Go on.
So I just
Jose Mourinho.
2 years. After 2 years of doing what he's done, like building what he's managed to build, you cannot look past the man that has taken Derby from 6th to 6th, Chelsea from 4th to 3rd, lost a final. I just think Frank has been. No, I don't think it's Frank. I actually don't think it's Klopp.
We'll take Frank. I just want to accept this on behalf of Frank. You did it, son.
I don't think it's Klopp either, though. I'll tell you why.
Right.
Because if Klopp's won the league, didn't win the league by the best. They've obviously been amazing. They could have won the league by the best points tally ever. Coronavirus took that a bit of a hit. Whatever. The fact is, that Liverpool squad winning the league, and no Liverpool fan will care about this. They've won the league. They wanted the league. They already had a Champions League. Brilliant. Let's sail off into the sunset. However, that Liverpool team should be looking at multiple trophies this season. 100%. Or at least competing for hundreds, for multiple trophies.
Yeah, they did bottle a couple of them.
They just threw them.
Yeah.
Villa smashed them 5-0.
That was they did have to play the other team.
But that's poor management.
No, they had to be in that other competition within one day. That was poor match scheduling.
I don't buy it though. I still think they've got enough quality to beat Monterrey, a team that we sold Vincent Janssen to. and maybe beat Villa.
Yeah.
Relegation for it. You saw the team that battered. Who did they batter on the final day of the season with a nothing team? They could have done it. They Newcastle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had all the bloody subs. They could have beaten. They could have done it, and they should have more trophies. For me, it's Chris Wilder, because even though it didn't end the way we wanted it to, that Sheffield team Name me one player you would take out of that Sheffield team, even now, even at the end of the season, Jay.
Lundstrom.
You wouldn't, though, would you? You actually wouldn't.
One of their centre backs, please.
Maybe, yeah. But they're desperate times. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I get you.
That is with the utmost respect to every single person in that team.
Yeah.
They're a team of nobodies.
Well, that's who I had for my manager as well, because we're going to go back to this later, but I can't remember if I put Sheffield. I think I did. I think I put Sheffield in the bottom three for the
I think we
predictions
all
at the
did,
start.
didn't we?
Yeah, we all did.
I think we all did. So, they finished 9th when they could have finished 6th before the break. It's totally different. The whole concept of the Premier League changed, all the teams, but you've got to give it him. Take me off to him.
So I did give it to Klopp. I still think, you know, when a team wins the Prem in the way he did, he's the the manager of the season. So, but I had Wilder down as a second or as an honourable mention.
I just think even that he won it so emphatically, and it's in a way, I know they won't care because it's not competitive, and I'm sure they'll come back next season just as strongly, but to have the season they've had and still their season end on this sound is a bit shit.
I get you.
Like,
I get you.
It feels a bit damp towards the end of Liverpool's season. They should be in this Champions League that's coming up. They should have beaten Villa. They could have stopped Arsenal winning it. So for that reason, fuck off.
Fair enough. All right, goal of the season, boys. There's plenty of contenders for this, and I'm interested to hear what you've got. I've got a couple down. I've not made my definitive decision yet, but go on, Josh. You start with us. Start us in it.
I mean, the one I'm going to suggest is the only one. I tried to genuinely think of some others. I genuinely was looking at Tomori's, and I was like, fair enough. And then I just kept coming back to Son picking the ball up and running the entire length of the pitch and just slotting it home.
It's in my list.
Because that is so. You've seen a lot. You see a lot of screamers. You see a lot of volleys, but you very rarely see someone just go, "All right, see you later." Boom. And also, it was a Vertonghen assist technically. So
yeah.
It like bobbles off Vertonghen's knee in the box, and then Son takes it. So you know what? For retiring legend Vertonghen as well, that's my solid choice. And actually, I've forgotten quite a lot. I remember there being a great one for some absolute wonder goals from Douglas Luiz. I remember the Jay Rodriguez one again in the Chelsea defeat.
That was mad.
I
mean, a lot have come against Chelsea this
Arsenal.
season. A lot of them have come against Chelsea, like Zaha. He's like worldy from outside the box as well. Like, the Son one's definitely in there for me. I've got a couple of us. So I've got Kevin De Bruyne against Norwich on the last day of the season, and he had two screamers.
I think his one against Arsenal was better than that.
I've got his goal against Newcastle where he took it off his chest.
That's why he's playing the season.
We've got 3 nominations. You know, I've got a bit of a dark horse in this one, but do you remember Shea Adams versus City?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you put Mick Sauce in front of that though, wouldn't you?
No, it's just the way he lofts it over the keeper, and I think that one's beautiful. I do.
Well, I've got a curveball. I've put Jordan Ayew against West Ham. When it was similar to, not similar to Son's, but
that's a phenomenal goal.
It wasn't a fucking rocket. Is Maradona, Rabona, whatever it's called, and to chip the keeper after beating 3 man, to chip the keeper after that.
And what's important to remember in that goal as well, and it's the most important thing, and I'm quite surprised you've left it out, Adam. I know you've said it, but you haven't put enough emphasis on it. It was fucking Jordan Ayew. What?
Excuse me.
When he's got that ball in that position, no Crystal Palace fan went, well, that's the game won, boys.
Who was it against?
Not a single one.
Who was it against?
West Ham.
West Ham were like, we're good, boys, don't worry.
And then it just does that. That's actually incredible, that goal. I'd still...
It's close between Son and him.
You know what? If we want to, are we having a definitive answer for these? By the way, we haven't really given definitive answers.
I had the top 3.
Yeah,
I didn't pick the answer. I thought we could pick the answer together somehow if we can.
Yeah.
If we've got
for me, I'd happily officially give that to Ayew. Actually, I loved Son's goal. I thought it was an incredibly unique type of goal to be goal of the season. But Ayew's fills me with a level of joy that is why we play football.
Yeah.
So I think that is a good answer. And there's probably one we're missing. Like a special shout out to Tomori. Just banging that top.
Yeah. We can talk about the Tomori one next because I've got, for the next segment, his favourite memory of the season for us lot. So this is like our favourite memory of the season, and mine, I hate that evil laugh. Mine is...
Do we have to skip past Josh? Or?
Yeah, that's what that. No, Jay, there was no evil laugh there. That was a sad laugh. I genuinely got blank for this.
That's sad, that is. That's really sad. I thought that was an evil laugh, like something Chelsea did wrong or something. No, I'm going to say, for me, though, Tomori's goal, the whole Wolverhampton game early in the season, it was like I went to this game as well, which made it even more special. Tomori's goal was incredible. It was like the first game where, not the first game, but it was like a game where Tammy got a hat-trick, Mason Mount and Tomori got on the score sheet. It was just this really mad academy thumping, but then also they went and scored 3 or 2 goals as well. It was just an incredible day out.
It's 5-3, I think.
It was just this mental game, and I was watching it live as well, which it was beautiful. So that's my favourite memory of the.
You were watching it live, Jay. You've never mentioned.
So I was there, Josh, on the day.
I'm pretty sure. What other away games have you been to, Jay?
Over United away.
United, okay.
Why?
I just thought I didn't know if it was your only one, but I saw you you were talking to a Chelsea fan on Twitter the other day, and you were like, "Best away game I've ever been."
No,
to.
that was.
Like, is it his only one?
That was no, it wasn't. So fuck you. No, but no, it was. That was my favorite. I was saying to that person, favorite memory as well. So fuck you, double.
Oh, okay.
Go on, Josh. What's your favorite memory then?
Okay, I've got 2 actually because of the kind of atmosphere it was. So if I just quickly run through these 2, and it's pretty much very similar. It's getting absolutely twatted off the park by City in a room full of City fans in Windermere, and then as somehow coming out with a 2-2 draw from that handball that ruled out City's third, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And it was to the stage where I wasn't celebrating. I was just pissing myself because I knew we should have lost. The City fans knew we should have lost. Didn't matter. VAR. And I'm just laughing. I'm just having a laugh. Because this is City fan literally went up to me and went, "Way! Yeah! Have it! Come on!" And me and Ross were sat there like, "Oh yeah, fair enough. We've got to take this." And then the ref's there like with his little VAR symbol. And I'm like, "No, not again."
Not like this.
So that's probably the top spot. But just as an honourable mention, it's again getting absolutely twatted off the park by City all game and somehow winning 2-0. So, fun time.
I'm surprised you mentioned Dyer climbing up the steps because I actually had that one down as my third.
That is big. That is.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of respect. It's been a season of more lows. So, maybe losing to Colchester in the Carabao. Maybe that was.
That's a big high.
Maybe that was.
What about Mourinho coming in? Is that a high?
It was way too soon after Poch for it to ever be considered a high.
It came like the day after, man. It was mad.
It's like meeting the woman of your dreams after your wife gets hit by a car. Like it's still going to be tinged with sadness. It's like the woman of your dreams being the driver of that car.
Mourinho is the woman of your dreams.
I thought you was going to give. I thought you was going to give Poch manager of the season. To be honest.
Well, you know what?
In homage,
an honorary.
He could have been. He could have been.
No, I've gone for my favourite moment. It's got to be McTominay's goal against City. That was the last Premier League game he played before all this happened, all the break happened. So it's been in my mind since then. To be honest, it was such a tense game. I honestly thought they were going to pull it back, but no, because stepped up and finished it. And that's when you could go into a pub and hug people. So the atmosphere was electric. It was fantastic.
You make that sound like you weren't in a pub. You make it sound like that goal went in and you just wandered outside into a pub and just hugged someone.
He hugged everyone.
Yay!
Everyone in the pub.
Yay!
My emotions took over.
That's fair. Jay?
I said my moment.
It was actually... Oh, you did, didn't you? It was the game you were at.
I was there, Josh. I was there live. It was really special. So moving on, and we've got our team's player of the season, and I'm interested to hear what you've got to say, Adam.
So What are you asking me for my team of the season? For my team?
No, your
No. Your players, your team's best player this season.
Right. Oh, I didn't know he was going to ask me.
I'm interested to hear what you got to say about that because it's
Well, go on, Jay. Look, give Adam some thinking time. You say yours.
Oh, so see, I've still not come up with it. I've got a couple. I've got from.
Oh my god, do you want me to say mine?
Go on, you say yours. I've got a couple. I want to say why I've got a couple though. So
Right.
go on.
Okay, fair enough. So mine's very simple. Everyone's with a bit shit or injured. So it's Son because he's been consistently there and popped a few goals away. It's a very, very simple one. It's black and white. Kane's been injured, Sissoko's been injured, Alderweireld's been injured, Lloris has been patchy, and Dombele's turns out he's shit. Lo Celso's just come into form. Ericsson left. Ali's died. And it's Son.
That's clear as day.
Although this has been a slight turnaround season for Lamella, as in he's no longer considered a joke. He's been good.
What about
when he's played?
Well, Foyth. I want to get some justice for Foyth, boys.
That was last season, Jay. He hasn't played this season. I think he's played once.
I want some justice.
So yeah, it's fine. Continue.
For me, I have there's three main ones. There's Mason Mount, there's Pulisic, and there's Willian. Mason's been quite consistent. He's not
Kepa.
Sorry.
Not Kepa.
Who?
Kepa.
Yeah. Sorry. Of course, it's Kepa. You know what? I forgot he was in goal because Willie was in last game. But before that, he was just A1. No.
Shite.
So Mason. Reason for Mason is he's been our best academy player. He's been fairly consistent with the assists. And he's got 7 goals, 5 assists. That's quite good for his first season in the Prem. Pulisic, he's been injured a lot of the season, but the kind of start and the end, he's played phenomenally and been the game changer in a lot of our games. Willian, again, consistent, got a lot of goals, but again, a lot of them were free kicks, and it's strange with Willian. He stresses me out as a player, but then you look at the stats and then you look at some of the goals he scored for us. The game against Spurs was that was his game. And then, so right now I want to say Pulisic. I want to say Pulisic just because of what he's been doing for the past couple of weeks.
Are you sure that's not just because he's so fresh in your memory?
That's what.
I've never not rated him.
That's what I'm thinking.
He wasn't there.
But the interesting thing is that he's got 9 goals, 4 assists in almost half of the appearances for the rest of them. Do you know what I mean?
He's a class player, but I just don't think he had the influence on your season.
I think I'm genuinely going to say Mason. I think he's been class, he's been consistent, and he's still very young. And I think there's all this talk about Havertz coming in. There's all this Ziyech's already in, and I think he's already made it hard for Frank to now because he's got to start the next couple of games. He's brilliant. He's also still got Ross Barkley. He's got Roseburn
I was about to say that
behind
he's made
it.
it pretty easy which way Ross Barkley should be going.
Yeah. And also honourable mention to Tammy because yes, he's been shit since for the latter part of the season, but he has.
What about Giroud?
Giroud, you see again. That's another tough one.
That's
only
still fresh in your mind, ain't it?
No, but it's not his fault.
That's not his fault.
Unlike, I know an injury's not. I know it's not an injury's not his fault, but it's more. Giroud was there, ready to be called on, and I think we can look back on Chelsea's season and say if Giroud had been put more faith in him, Chelsea would have more points.
But you know what it is? At the start of the season, Tammy was scoring goals. He's got 15 goals this season, and the start,
which is still admirable.
Yeah, that's still a lot. That is a lot for a new, a relatively new player to the Premier League. He's only had 1 season prior in the Prem. He and he kind of came off, and yes, then
for who?
Tammy Abraham.
For who?
What?
What seasons he had prior?
Swansea. He played Swansea in the Prem. He did awful. He got
He did, didn't he? In the kit with the gold diamond on the
Yeah. So he played that. Then he came back. Then he went to Villa, and then he came back, and that's this season.
Mad.
So
Mad.
he was playing really well. So it was kind of hard to play Giroud. But when he started to lose form, why the fuck did we play Batshuayi? I'll never know. So that's the mistake,
Okay.
yeah. But I think I'm going to say Mason.
That seems fair.
I respect
Adam,
that, to be fair.
tell us why it's Bruno Fernandes, Adam. If you picked anything else, you're an idiot.
Honestly, I've been trying to think of someone else and I can't.
It's fair, because let's be honest, there has never been a bigger turnaround of a team in January in Premier League history, in my opinion, from a signing.
Well, exactly. You know, we were the team we have now compared to the team we had before Christmas is madly different. The whole dynamic has changed when he came into the squad.
Yeah.
We pressed more as a team. It was sort of like he made us tick in the middle, and he made sort of. For me, it's not just his ability; it's his work ethic. I think he brings the other players around him into working just as hard as him. I don't have to say much else, do I? But I was trying to think of someone close.
It's arguable to say that if you didn't have him in January, would you be in the top 4? Do you know what I mean? Like,
we wouldn't.
That's a fair statement to make.
So even before the lockdown, what was we 11 points behind Leicester? And I know they slipped off, and I know they're not the team that they was before Christmas, but we had that power in us, and I think that solely came from Bruno. So it's got to be him, hasn't it?
Honourable mentions to Rashford and Martial, just being in actual strike force for the first time since 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I was even Greenwood. You know,
Greenwood's been.
You got to remember how young he is. I wouldn't class him as a player of the season, but he's gonna be absolutely amazing. It's exciting to see. I'm really excited about next season and the next.
Well, I hope he falls off an absolute cliff, a metaphorical cliff. But yeah, no, cool.
No, a literal cliff.
I hope he doesn't really fall off a cliff. The back post do not condone Jack Grealish falling off. Jack Grealish. So I'm very.
You
tired.
said Jack Grealish. You thought of fall off a cliff, and you thought of Jack Grealish. That's all that needs to be said.
The dream's out there.
Finally, the final thing we could talk about in this part before we move to part 2. Biggest surprise, boys. What's the biggest surprise of the season? This could be player, team, moment, anything. What we got?
I mean,
Danny Ings scoring goals.
Danny Ings being a striker. No, yeah, I mean, he's definitely up there for me. Like the amount of goals he's scored, like he's second in the Golden Boot. That's crazy. Like he was pushing for the Golden Boot at one point as well.
I mean, you wouldn't. It's a surprise that he's where he was, but you know, you do see him. I've always seen him as a bit of a 10-goal season striker. Like, I'm not saying in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a shock for me that he's been good. Like, I just think that Liverpool was the wrong place for him, and a lot of, you know, it's a surprise that the biggest surprise is that he stayed at Liverpool for as long as he did.
Yeah, that's a shout. That's a shout.
Without fleeing, but I don't know. For me, the obvious answer is boring. It's Sheffield.
Yeah.
Well, for coming and twatting us all. But
yeah, they run a mockery of us twice. I mean, I was gonna say something that genuinely shocked me was Poch going. It really did shock when it came out. It really did. I remember, and then not only Poch going, but then seeing Jose there, and then seeing him in like the purple tracksuit. That blew my mind when I first saw it.
And seeing him suck all the energy out of the team. Unbelievable.
Mate,
we've all been there, haven't we?
We've been playing class recently, so I'm fine.
But that was genuinely surprising to me.
Yeah, no, it probably is one of those. And then the only other one I'd say is it's not a surprise because they've been relegated, but a man that literally took Bournemouth from the league, almost going out of league football, to the Premier League and kept them there for 4 years?
Yeah,
5 years. I'm sure I don't want to speak too much on that actually because I'm relatively convinced Eddie Howe also made it, that when you read mutual consent and you're like yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, that
actually does seem like mutual consent. Like Eddie Howe's like, well, I've done all I can. The board are like, yeah, to be honest, mate, off you pop. And he's there like, yeah, see you later.
I mean, he's off. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Right, now that Bournemouth have been relegated, it's good news for Chelsea. They're not going to just slap us out of nowhere now, because they beat us like 4-0.
Did slap you, didn't they?
They were like that
Which
team.
Is not.
They just would.
But I wouldn't be too excited, Jay, because no matter what, now another London club in either Brentford or
West London club as well.
They're going to get well excited for us.
Yeah,
coming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as as well. I mean, a surprise as well was Pearson going 2 days before the final. That was a bit mad.
That was just a sort of, I don't know. There was no real purpose to it, was there? Like, surely the last game of the season, you want the manager that's been with you for months and months, as opposed to your, reserve manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess also another massive surprise is the way Liverpool won it. That is a surprise that's drip fed to you throughout the season, so it doesn't feel like a surprise. But if I said to you at the start of the season, by the way, Liverpool are going to have a 25-point lead,
Yeah, you.
and the fact that it got reduced to 18 is,
Yeah, the fact that
by the
fact that City didn't push as hard as they could have, as well.
the 25 points. Think about that. Like, you're looking at teams on 25 points sometimes with like after 25, 20, 26, 27 games.
Yeah.
Like, some teams down there still with a chance of survival will have 25 points with like 10 games left.
Yeah.
Like, that's madness. And to have that gap, and then, looking at the table, actually, it's actually a lot closer than we think it is, isn't it? Really, like, it feels like a massive gap, but City obviously were doing all right. But then the spaces are not that big between, I don't know, 3rd and 8th.
Yeah, no, there's
Well, 10th by that logic.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, towards the end, it got a bit of a push, man. It really did. So
I think it would have to still be the boring answer, and it's relegation tip Sheffield.
Yeah,
spanking everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think you can get.
Well done to Sheffield.
Especially when they kept playing a striker that can't score with McGoldrick. Like, literally, he scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah. Definitely. Well done to Sheffield.
And it's just like he played every game because he just worked hard. He was like Giroud winning the World Cup with France. Didn't score, but was just there.
But he was there.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Well, that's it for the part 1, boys.
Okay.
Or not? I don't know.
I was just going to ask if there's anyone that particularly could fuck off this season. Like, just any player that you thought just like what's the point in you?
Oh.
Just, I know it's a bit out of the blue, but just curious if there's anyone that you were just like, why are you in the Premier League?
I'm just quickly trying to think.
Because I'll tell you who's a disappointment.
Go on.
I'm looking at you, Pucky. What happened, mate?
Yeah, remember when Norwich were like 4th or some shit?
Do you remember when they slapped up City?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did Tottenham over, didn't they? What a shame.
Yeah, and he come flying out, and he had like a team of the week on FIFA at one point that was like 84 rated or something, some bollocks. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, you're right.
And they just had enough. The Pucky party lasted too long, and he spent the next 28 games being hungover to fuck.
Yeah, no. You know what?
Yeah, okay.
Completely forgot about that. Complete fair play. Yeah, no, okay. Part 1's over. It's been a long part. It's been enjoyable. I think part 2, we're going to talk about our predictions. We're going to talk about the upcoming transfer bullshit and anything else we want to talk about. I'm also going to have to take this blazer off as well because I'm boiling, boy. So, we filmed last night and it went on for a bit too long. So, what we decided to do is, for the video, split into 2. So, there's the video you just saw, and then part 2 of the podcast will be out on Thursday. So, come back for that. But if you really enjoyed this part and you want to hear the whole thing, the whole podcast, no parts, just the whole podcast will be out on Spotify. So, and that'll be out now. So if you want to hear what we've got to say in the next part, check that out. Yeah, and that's it. Like the video, comment. What did you think of our predictions? Also, subscribe so you don't miss Thursday's video and all the other content we're going to be bringing out over the next couple of days. So, yeah, there's that. Tell your dads, everyone. Peace.